Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Day 6, Surah An'am, verse 132. Walikullin darajatum mimma amilu. For all there will be ranks from what they did. Your Lord is not unaware of what they do. This ayah emphasizes on two things. First, that when God urges human beings to follow the right way and asks them not to do anything in conflict with ultimate reality, He does not do so because their good behavior benefits Him or their misconduct harms Him. He does so because good conduct is beneficial to man himself, as evil conduct is harmful to him. Hence, it is out of sheer benevolence that God urges man to develop righteous conduct, for it will raise him to great heights, and He urges him to avoid evil conduct because it will lead to his own degradation. Second, that God is not unduly stern in judging man. He gets no pleasure from punishing people. He is not on the lookout for slight lapses for which to convict and persecute people. God is highly compassionate towards all His creatures and governs with utmost mercy and benevolence, and the same characterizes His dealings with human beings as well. Hence, He constantly forgives the sins of people. Many disobey, indulge in sins, commit crimes, disregard God's commands, even though they are nourished by sustenance He provides. God, nevertheless, continually treats them with forbearance and forgives them again and again. Day 7, Surah Al-A'raf, verse 26. Ya bani Adam qad anzalna alaykum libasan yuwari sawatikum warisha wa libasut taqwa dhalika khair dhalika min ayatillahi la'allahum yazakkarun. O children of Adam, indeed we have sent down to you a garment which covers your shame and provides protection and adornment, but the finest of all is the garment of piety. That is one of the signs of Allah so that they may take heed. The Quran emphasizes that it is not enough for the dress to cover the private parts and to provide protection and adornment to the human body. Man's dress ought to be the dress of piety. This means that a man's dress ought to conceal his private parts. It should also render a man reasonably presentable, the dress being neither too shabby and cheap nor overly expensive and extravagant relative to his financial standing. Nor should dress smack of pride and reflect that pathological mental state in which men prefer characteristically feminine dresses and vice versa, or that the people belonging to one nation may make people of other nations so as to resemble them, thereby becoming a living emblem of collective humiliation and abasement. The dress of piety and modesty is above them all. Dress is a sign of your modesty. In this verse, covering should not only be interpreted in reference to the body but also his everyday rituals. What we say in our language, Parda, should be in one's sight. Parda should be practiced while keeping a secret. Parda should be practiced when you accidentally have seen someone indulge in a sin. Parda should be practiced while you intend to backbite. Parda is about not flaunting your credentials before an unprivileged man. Parda is about avoiding your lavish chit-chat in front of a poor man. Parda is keeping someone's creditworthiness when he's expecting the least. Parda is not just about your body. Parda is for your soul. Day 8, Suratul Anfal, Ayah 28 and 29. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةٌ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ عِندَهُ أَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِن تَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّكُمْ فُرْقَانًا وَيُكَفِّرْ عَنكُمْ سَيِّئَاتِكُمْ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ ذُو الْفَضْلِ الْعَظِيمِ. And know that your properties and your children are but a trial, and that Allah has with Him a great reward. O you who have believed, if you fear Allah, He will grant you a criterion and will remove from you your misdeeds and forgive you. And Allah is the possessor of great bounty. Allah tests humans with both calamities and blessings to determine who will be patient and thankful and who will be impatient and ungrateful. Wealth and children, for example, are a trial and a trust by which Allah tests His servants to know who will give thanks for them and who will be distracted from Allah by them. The ease with which people become absorbed in their wealth, possessions, and children demonstrates the nature of this test. These are facets of life that may distract people from the worship and remembrance of Allah. The test is not only to show who will be grateful and who will be ungrateful, but also to determine how parents will raise their children. Will they treat them with kindness, love, and respect? Will they raise them in Islam with all of the knowledge and blessings that it contains? Will they prepare them for the hereafter and for paradise? Or will they raise them with another system of beliefs and practices such as other religions or secularism that are contrary to Islam? Will they send them to the hellfire along with themselves? This is the true nature of the test, as it is with all the tests that Allah gives to us. Day 9, Surah At-Tawbah, Ayah 51. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Let the believers put all their trust in Allah. The simplest verse of whole surah was selected today to emphasize on the fact that whatever the circumstances may be, whatever is going to happen in this world with you or whatever is going to come before you will be in your best interests. In very simple words, how I make myself at peace is just by thinking that Allah promised to love us 70 times more than our own mothers. A single mother cannot think of anything that can harm her child. How can the Allah Almighty, who holds the equal, rather more love of 70 mothers for His men, can ever make something happen that can harm you? We just lack the wisdom to interpret the reason behind. We lack the foresight to know the consequences, which are only known by Allah. Here's a story. Perched on top of the mountain with nothing and no one around her, the lady peered into the distance. She saw no one. She ran down the mountain and across the valley and climbed another mountain, peering into the distance again. Again, nothing could be seen. Her child was crying. The little baby boy was thirsty, and mommy didn't have a drop of water to give to him. Among the harshest of sounds to the ears of a parent is the cry of his or her child, and it was to hers too. Thus she kept running between the two mountains over and over again until Allah Himself intervened. He sent the angel Jibreel to strike the earth and bring out water for the mother and the child, and to this day, this run of Hajj is done by millions of pilgrims who go for Hajj and Umrah. She trusted in Allah, and Allah delivered. Trust Him, He will deliver. Day 10, Surah Yunus, verse 23. Mata' al-hayat dunya. Enjoyment of this worldly life is brief. This verse means that you only have a short enjoyment in this low and abased worldly life. The parable is meant to warn those who are utterly neglectful of the life after death because of their apparent success in this worldly life. Those who neglect to make preparations for the life after death will find to their sorrow that all they did to earn for the enjoyments of this world was in relation to the next world.